Hey everyone, welcome. I'm a Dutch girl living in Sweden, and this is episode 1 of a short series sharing my move here back in January 2025. I was living in the UK for over 23 years and then made the move to Sweden. Over the next few videos, I'm recapping my first 6 months. In today's episode, I'm taking you through my arrival alone in Sweden, my first 2 months, how I settled in, work disaster, and getting my Personnummer, and all the honest feelings that came with it. I hope you enjoy! I had booked an Airbnb for 3 months near Uppsala. I had the DHL pick up my boxes with my stuff, and the next day I went on a plane and arrived late on the 12th of January 2025. So I stayed in a hotel at the airport. I felt scared, elated, happy and excited all at the same time for this new adventure I started, aged 37. I came here completely alone, not knowing anyone, never having been to Sweden, but all on a lot of research I did on the Nordic countries and which one would be the best move for me, so I chose Sweden. Before moving, I did so much research on everything, from finding the best location for work to figuring out how to get a Personnummer and renew my Dutch passport, which was expiring soon. I chose central Sweden near Uppsala and Stockholm because it made access to key institutions, jobs and services so much easier. At the time, I had a remote job in the UK, but just 1 month after arriving, that job unexpectedly ended. Suddenly, I found myself without work, living alone in a country where English isn't the main language. It was terrifying, to say the least. So I immediately started applying for jobs, both remote roles in the UK, where I still had the right to work, and local jobs in Sweden. Any English ones basically, but I will talk about the job situation later. At the same time, I submitted my application for a Personnummer. Being an EU citizen made the process a bit easier, and with some help from my sister, I applied under the self-sufficient category. Just 1 month later, in February, I actually got it, which felt like a massive win. After that, I moved on to renewing my Dutch passport, which meant taking a trip to Stockholm. I still haven't done much exploring there yet, but I definitely plan to visit more often and properly check it out. While all of this was going on, I was feeling incredibly alone. I was staying in a lovely Airbnb, but because it was cheaper, it was further outside of town, and I didn't have a car. I didn't really have anyone to talk to, and after weeks of that, the isolation really started getting to me. Living alone in a brand new country, adjusting to the cold, trying to learn the language, even the smallest tasks like navigating the supermarket to find the right milk felt overwhelming. It would have been so much easier to share that experience with someone, but I just didn't have that option. On top of everything, I had a few health issues when I first got here and had to figure out how to see a doctor before I even had my Personnummer. Although thankfully that all got sorted out in the end. Despite all the challenges, I loved so many things about Sweden right from the start. The nature here is mind-blowing, there's just so much of it. I loved exploring the surrounding areas, visiting new places, and experiencing actual snow in the winter, which I wasn't used to after living in southern England. Plus the wildlife here is incredible. Even now, a year and a half later, I'm still mesmerized by how beautiful Sweden is, and I don't think that feeling will ever go away. Now, let's talk about something I really didn't expect, the job market. I had no idea how tough it was to find work in Sweden as an expat. Even though almost everyone speaks English, Swedish is still a firm requirement for most roles, whether it's for internal meetings, paperwork or dealing with clients, which makes total sense, but it's definitely a hurdle. My Swedish isn't quite at corporate office level yet, I am far from it, though I'm working on it and I hope to be fluent enough by next summer for customer service or retail roles. You know, like working in a cafe or a supermarket. Even landing entry-level or cleaning jobs was surprisingly tough because the competition among foreigners is so high. The unemployment rate in Sweden has been quite high recently, sitting around 8.5 to 9% over the past year, which is a noticeable jump compared to the UK. Combine high unemployment with a language barrier and it's a real challenge. I actually made it through 2 rounds of interviews with this big international company in Stockholm, which was exciting, though sadly I didn't get past to the next stage. But on the bright side, I've secured a part-time cleaning position alongside my remote work. Having that extra stability means I can finally start moving forwards with some of my plans, like getting a car and saving up. Because I've literally run through all my savings in all this time trying to find work. My long-term goal here is to buy a home. People often ask why I didn't move back to the Netherlands after 23 years in the UK. But Holland is so crowded and expensive now that buying a house there just wasn't realistic for me. Sweden is where I want to build my future, and I'm sticking with it. Thank you so much for watching episode 1 of my limited series of my move to Sweden. This was the first 2 months in Sweden. The next one will be about me getting a Swedish SIM card, bank account and bank ID, and what it means. It's one of the most important things to get in Sweden, so if you're not subscribed, please click the subscribe button so you don't miss my next video. See you soon!